Hey guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to another video. So today we are doing another speed build and I'm not entirely sure what I was going for in this video, but it sort of turned out to look, something a little like a Spanish colonial revival type of house. Now I usually would have probably just said, I don't know, this house kind of looks like it's Spanish, but about 10 minutes ago, I was just doing like a Google search for different styles of housing because I've been a little uninspired lately when it comes to building. So I figured might as well do a little Google searching just to see what kind of house styles are out there, because I'm always just thinking in a straight line, pretty much thinking of all of the typical houses that people would think of and not really trying to think outside the box. So I had to use Google to help me just to give my brain a little boost to think outside the square. And I feel like this house has kind of turned into a little bit of a Spanish influence house. If you can see by the thumbnail, I think you guys all agree with me. I'm not too sure. I sort of, for this build, because like I said, I've been uninspired lately, I sort of drew my inspiration for this build from the surroundings, because I don't know why, I just get like this lot here specifically with the plants around it and things like that, I just get kind of like a Spanish vibe from it, or an LA vibe, because I think, what is this town called? Oasis Springs. I think Oasis Springs in a whole is more sort of towards the LA / Spanish colonial type of style. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but anyway, so you can kind of see it coming together here with the windows and the color choices that I've chosen. I kind of wish there was a little bit more that I did to this house, but I actually did build this last night. I think it took me like 2 hours just because I wasn't really sure what I was going to be building and things like that, but I do like how it turned out, and I really like the interior. Now, if you guys are regular viewers of my videos or of my builds, you'll probably notice I've got a bit of a style when it comes to furnishing the interiors and things. I tend to lean towards more of the modern side of things, or like the contemporary, or maybe even mid-century. But I never really go the kind of like older route in terms of interior decorating. And I notice, like, with me personally, when I do the interiors, I tend to like symmetry and I like things being even. I don't like objects to be blocking windows or being like cooped up next to each other and everything like that. But recently I have been watching a lot of spring Sims builds. Now I used to watch them before, but it's only just regular, like it's only just lately I've started watching quite a lot of his builds. I think it's because usually when you play a game like The Sims, you go through different stages of what you like and what you don't like, and I've just really been into his style of building at the moment, because, like, let me just say, my favourite builder used to be Deligracy, and I used to watch her builds all the time, but it's so funny because I've sort of strayed away from her builds. I think it's just because I've been watching them so often that it's just kind of, I've gotten too used to it, if that makes sense. Like, I want something different, and I just really enjoyed Spring Sims. He uses things in his builds in ways that I never would use them, and I know a lot of people use them the way he would. It's just, I always look at it and think in my, when I do things like that, I think in my brain that breaks all of the rules of interior designing. That's what I think, because I know there are some rules. Like, I watched this program over here in Australia called House Rules, and when the judges come in, they always say things like, you should never have a bed with a bed head and the bed head covering parts of the windows, you shouldn't have things in front of the windows, and just things like that. And then you've got the rule of thirds and everything, and things look nicer that way. But I don't know, with this build I decided to break the so-called rules of interior designing and just go all out pretty much. It is an older style house, which I really like because I never do that, and I never use any of the older wallpapers because I always think they're like ugly. I'm just never into that kind of thing. So I was quite excited and, you know, happy with how this build turned out. I know I keep saying I was happy with how this build turned out, but I really was, because I guess it was outside of what I usually do. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I did use like one of those really cool roof thingies. I don't know what they're called, but it's like a roof detail. You can chuck it up on the roof and it gives it that whole Spanish vibe. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know because I've never been to Mexico, but I feel like I would see things like this, or I really don't know. I just don't know, but I do like it. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I had to say for this build. I'm going to go off now into speaking about whatever I want to speak about, because you guys know, you guys should expect it already because I do this every single time. But anyway, so there are a few things I do want to talk about because they are important, and you guys will find out about them. I want to start like speaking about it in my videos now because I'm not too sure, I don't want people to miss it, because I do plan of making like a video dedicated to whatever this thing is, but I know that not everybody's going to watch certain videos, so if I speak about it across some of my videos and things like that, then most of you guys will know and will expect it and things like that. So anyway, basically what I want to tell you guys is on the 26th of November Australian time, I will be flying out to go overseas for work. Now the place I'm going is called Cook Islands. Some of you may know it, some of you may not know it. It's basically a little group of islands out in the Pacific Ocean, and I will be on one of the little outer islands called Aitutaki. Now I'm going there because that's where my mum lives and my granddad lives there, and I'm going there for work for 2 months. Now the reason why I want to tell you guys this is because they're a little bit behind the times over there, so their technology isn't really up to scratch. They don't always have the best access to internet and things like that. It has gotten better over time, but at the moment I do know that they have cellular data that is down because the place or whatever or something like that, the main place for the data, I don't know, power station, telephone station, whatever, it burnt down. So that's not going to be open again to another 3 weeks, or up and running to another 3 weeks. So hopefully by the time I get there, that'll be up so I can kind of keep in contact with you guys through Twitter. If not, there are some hotspots on the island that I can go and visit. However, I don't know how good the internet connections are going to be. I do recall a fitness guru went over last year, because I haven't been there since 2014, so I don't know how well the internet has improved or how well it hasn't. I don't know. But there was a fitness guru from Australia who went over there last year, around the end of the year, or it was perhaps earlier this year. It may have been earlier this year, sorry, but she went over there and she spoke about how terrible the internet was, and she was trying to upload videos and they just couldn't get videos up because of the internet. Now she was staying at a resort though, so I'm guessing she was using the Wi-Fi provided at the resort. So I don't know my chances of the hotspots, whether they would be better than what the resort offers and things like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It could potentially be that this fitness guru was over in the islands before they had upgraded, because my mum has actually told me that the internet is a lot better than what it used to be. They've now got 4G, which is, it's not too bad. I was on 4G last year. It did take a while for videos to upload, but once you use Handbrake and everything, it takes maybe like 3 hours, so it is possible that I could still upload. The only other issue though is there is no Wi-Fi in my family's house over there, so I will have to go to one of the hotspots to try and upload if I want to. Now this also proves another issue, because battery life. I don't know if there's any way for me to plug my computer in. I don't know if the hotspot, you know, if you have to pay for it, because if you do have to pay for it, I can guarantee you it's going to be expensive. Back when it was broadband, when it was terrible broadband, might I add, terrible broadband, it was like $6 for 30 minutes, and that's quite pricey. I mean, you can go to a public library over here in Australia. I think you can in Australia. Yeah, over here in Australia or in New Zealand, you can go to a public library, half an hour, free use of a computer. They don't have public libraries over there. They don't really have anything. Just to give you guys a little picture of how small the island is, because it is very small, which is mainly due for the reason why they're so behind on things. But they don't have any fast foods anywhere. They don't have any shopping outlets. I wouldn't say mall, because they definitely don't have mall. On the island I'm going to, they don't have any shopping outlets. I believe, actually, I was told that they might have a KFC on the main island, but I can't actually remember. I won't be on the main island though, so I mean, that's pretty much useless to me if it is there. So yeah, let's just say there's not much there. So I'm not too sure what it's going to be like in terms of internet, but we shall see. I do plan on pre-recording like a decent amount of videos. I want to at least have one video pre-recorded for each week, so that's like 8 videos. I would do more, but the fact that I'm also working like 4 to 5 days a week makes it a little bit difficult, sorry. And also the fact that there's only 3 weeks until I leave. It's just a little bit, you know, I don't know. It's just going to be a little bit difficult. Anyway, I'm not too sure why the footage is frozen. I don't actually think the footage was frozen. I think I had just stopped building because, you guys, I may have mentioned this in one of my other videos before, but one of my cats really likes to scratch on my security screen outside on my window when he wants to get inside. So he was scratching. I went and let him in, and I thought he had like a lump on him, like some weird lump in his fur, so I was trying to figure out what it was. So I think that's why it was like paused for a moment and we were just staring at the curtains, because everybody loves to stare at these hideous orange curtains. I say hideous, but because they are hideous, to be completely honest. They're hideous. But I think they really work in this build. I actually think most of these things work. I mean, I kind of like everything being super cluttered, like having this little corner here with the mirror shoved behind this grandfather clock, a little table, some shoes, some coats, and then I've got those bookcases shoved in the corner on the other side. I don't know. I just think it all works. I like it. I do like it. And I think I might actually start doing more of these types of houses, more styles like this. Kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm too clean and too tidy when I do builds. So I think I might try and just venture out a little bit and just try new things, because I really like how this turned out. And I don't know, I just like, I got my inspiration from Spring Sims for the interior. The inspiration from the outside, like I said, it's basically just kind of from the surroundings of the lot, pretty much. But anyway, so it was actually really funny today. So when I went to work and I told my manager, because I was speaking to 2 of my managers last week about leaving for 2 months, and they were all for it. They're like, yeah, go, it's alright, it's the holidays, so people will be finished school, we'll have staff working over the holidays. They're like, just go, it'll be fun. So I was like, yeah, okay then. I hadn't told my head manager yet. I can't remember what you call them, but my head manager, basically, I haven't told her yet. So when I walked into work this morning, the first thing I said to her was like, hey, I need some time off. She asked me what date, and I said 26th. For how long? 2 months. And she's like, you're kidding me, right? She used a little bit of a different language there. She didn't exactly say you're kidding me. She said something a little stronger, but I was definitely not kidding. She She did get over it though later on, and she was actually okay about it. She's like, okay, just write it down here and things like that. And she asked me, because I wasn't planning on telling her why I was going, just in case she said no or something. Not that she can exactly say no, at least I don't think you can say no to somebody who wants time off, who's, you know, allowed to take time off. But basically I told her that I was just going to go see family and things like that, and I left out the whole part that I was going there to work. And then she's like, well, how are you going to afford that? So I was like, oh, okay, here it is. I knew there was going to be some way that I was going to end up having to tell her, but thankfully she didn't get annoyed at me or anything. And it's probably because of the way I said it. I just said, oh, I'm just going to be like working on the side a little bit, just not much, just a little bit. But I didn't tell her that it's actually Monday to Fridays that I'll be working, but it's okay. She doesn't need to know that. As long as she's like approved that I can go on this little breakaway. I really needed this break, to be honest. Just from my workplace, because there has just been so much so much drama going on in my workplace, and I just need to get away from it. That was actually the main reason for me going away on this little break. I had been speaking to my mum about it, and I think that's why she suggested that I come over there. But I don't know, hopefully I'll have like a little refresh over these 2 months, be able to come back and all new. It might be good as well to escape from everything, because you know, it's a little island. It literally is an escape. And it's funny because I think most people would be like super excited to go, like, because it's a paradise island according to most other people. But to me, because I lived there when I was a child and because I've been there on holiday, if you guys can hear some noise at the moment, that is my cat. Let me just pause that. Like I said earlier, he climbs on my security screens. He's doing it right now. So I'm just going to pause this voiceover just for a moment. Alright, so I am back, and we have let Mr. Sammy Boy inside the house. And you guys, when I went to the front door, okay, usually I've got 2 cats, right? So I've got Sam and Edgar. Usually it's Edgar who scratches on my window. It used to be Sam, but then he stopped doing it. He was actually the one that taught Edgar to scratch on my window. But it wasn't Edgar today, like I thought it was. It was Sam. Usually I can tell who it is because they'll scratch on different windows. But on the odd occasion, Edgar will decide he wants to scratch on a different window. And Sam, he climbs up the entire window and makes a lot of racket, so I thought it was Edgar. So I went and checked out the window, because that's what I usually do. I see these 2 little googly eyes staring at me in the dark from the other side of the window. And so I went and opened the door, and he was all the way, like, kind of down the end of the footpath near our garage. And I was waiting for him to come in the house, because usually that's what they do. Like, they'll run straight to the door when you open the door. But no, he decides he's going to plonk himself on the ground and then roll around on the path. And I looked at him and I was like, what was the point of you scratching on my window and wanting to come in? If you're just going to sit down or plonk yourself down on the floor and roll around once I come to let you in. So I ended up having to go and pick him up because he wouldn't come. He was just like, I think he was just trying to show off. I think he knows that I was doing a voiceover and he's like, you guys can wait for Caitlin. But no. Yeah, so I basically had to walk outside and go and grab him. I mean, it's probably a good thing I did. There were a few froggies along the way, like outside, and I feel sad, even though like they're kind of gross to touch, like they're slimy and stuff. I feel sorry for them if the cat like attacks it. So I preferred to go out and get him than watch him like attack one of the frogs if he sees them. Sometimes they see the frogs but they'll leave them alone. Other times they're just like think it's like a little golden toy or something like that and they start playing with it. But yeah, so he is now in here. I brought him in my room. Usually he tries to escape, but this time he decided to plonk himself down on my bed. And he also attacked my work cap. I don't know why, but he did anyway. I guess he thought it smelled funny. Maybe it smelled like KFC and he thought it was like an animal. I don't know. I don't know. He played with it like it was like a animal or something like that, but it was kind of funny to watch. Anyway, he's now being a lazy butt and just chilling on my bed. while I do this voiceover, which, might I add, is actually almost finished. I think we are coming up to the end in about... actually no, I lied. I was going to say about half a minute, but we actually got 21 minutes in this entire video. I thought it was 20 minutes long, but it's 21, and we're at 19 or 20 now. So I've got about 1 more minute. I think we're coming up to the screenshots soon though, and I don't know, I hope you guys really like this build because I do. And speaking of builds, I actually wiped all of the builds from my game last night, like the ones that I've built. I of course uploaded them to the gallery first and then I wiped them, but I just wanted to start fresh. I decided to uninstall my game to start fresh, deleted all my CC, like every single last one, every single file of CC that I've hidden somewhere else on my computer. I got rid of them all because I want to start fresh before I leave. But anyway, here are the screenshots. I hope you guys like this build. Look at the like light coming through the windows. It looks so pretty like that. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I am going to go and build another build for you guys, or do a cast video for you guys. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.